Someone asked why I always work the bases in these videos, never strap it on, and, well, it's easier to understand you when you talk this way. Plus, I'm not going to get hit in the head with a ball. Jerry Davis has officially said that he might retire after the 2020 season, and if it gets played, and if not, maybe after 2021. He has 4,957 career regular season games. He needs 43 to get to the 5,000 mark to join Klem, West, and Fremming. He wants 5,000. He wants it in St. Louis, and he said that he'd be willing to come back in 2021 to get it if there is no 2020 season. West, on the other hand, we mentioned him. He's second behind Klem. He has 5,310 regular season games, I believe, so that would make 59 to tie, 60 to pass Bill Klem for the all-time record. And West is on record saying he wants to get the all-time umpiring record past Klem before he retires. But if the 2020 season does get played, this could essentially mean that the two senior-most guys retire after the season is over, in which case we have a ripple effect. Not only do we have staff vacancies, so people like the Viscontis, remember we had those lists even before Nick Lentz got hired and Siegel and all those guys. So we keep talking about the AAA guys who are qualified, and so we just keep going down the list. It would also open up crew chief jobs, which we'd go back to the crew chief list of who might be next in line. We take out the names who already got hired, like Marquez or Isonia. And, oh my gosh, Angel Hernandez is on that list. There's Hernandez, Reynolds, Honora, Culpa, Wendelstedt, and so on who are on the list. But every time Angel doesn't get that job, it just looks like, man, he was qualified to get it. Not talking about perception, talking about statistics. He was qualified. And your opinion may vary. Again, I'm in lawsuit mode, so I'm thinking about all of these things from that standpoint. Speaking of which, and I have a great document I'm going to share with you about that lawsuit. It's sort of a summary for the 1,000 plus pages of discovery and evidence that were put onto the court filing system in the middle of the night last week. But I'm going to give you the summary of all of that, and that is a public document that I'm going to link to as well. And there's one error of omission that I had made. I said that Angel Hernandez during the relevant period from 2011 to 2017 had been nominated by supervisors to work 2 World Series and then was shut out of that both times. That was 2012, 2015. What the omission is he was also apparently voted to work the 2011 World Series, and obviously he didn't get to work that series. So that would be 3 World Series he was going to get, and except for reasons. And apparently they want to make the argument that he also would have gotten the 2016 World Series, or he was qualified to do that, if not for MLB skipping him for the postseason entirely, which I feel is a lot more difficult to actually prove, because that's a very hypothetical argument. Well, if he got the postseason, well, he didn't. And you might want, well, he didn't get it because of, okay, well, that's a separate argument. But I think that, yeah, there is a solid case for 2011, 2012, and 2015. I digress. But it'll be curious to see what happens. We have this tendency of umpiring generations, especially with the 99 episode that happened. Not to say that Davis or West were 99 hires, because they weren't. West lost his job and had to be rehired several years later. But you have this generational circumstance, if you will, where the people who came in 99, they're hitting their 20-year mark. They hit their 20-year mark with the new CBA. So with the new CBA having this reported 2-year retirement program that has been set up, or ability, I guess that's why you see Davis and West wanting to get the records before they get out, because they still have that year they're able to do that. But a lot of guys vest their pensions on the 20s, which they hit last year, so they are able to retire even if they're not at that crew chief level. And it'll be curious to see who does what exactly and how we come out of this. And that's a ripple effect for all the AAA guys looking to advance and so on and so forth, all the way down to the low A's and rookie ball. Speaking of which, is minor league baseball going to get rid of that? That's another story. That there are a whole bunch of short season teams on the chopping block, as well as some of the longer A's and even AA. A few AA teams are on the chopping block for minor league baseball. That shrinks the pool of professional umpires. That could hurt umpire school going even further down the chain, because maybe people aren't as determined to go to umpire school for a job if they don't think that they're going to have the opportunity to get a job due to the reduced probability, but maybe not. That'll encourage more, I guess it'll mean that you have to have more determination for that goal. And of course, probably won't affect too much the people that go to school just to get an education and are not too concerned about getting to minor league baseball. Also should increase, if this is what's actually happening, some jobs in independent leagues. So you could see a surge of umpires hired to work non-affiliated baseball as well, which could change the landscape coming out of this in the future for all of us. So it's a really interesting time in a video based solely on one article from the St. Louis paper about Jerry Davis wanting to get to 5,000 career games. And let's hope that that happens so that we can celebrate. And let's hope that it happens at a time when we are allowed in the stadium in St. Louis. He wants it in St. Louis. Let's let it happen in St. Louis, where we're allowed to actually celebrate it back where it all started for him, at least. If he wants it, if you've given 5,000 career games, only a few guys have done that in the history of baseball. If you've given that much time, especially for West, if you're the all-time guy, you probably want to do that in a full stadium of your choice, perhaps. That's sort of an NHL route. NHL lets the guys work certain milestones and retirements in arenas that they want to work. They get to pick their crew to work there, and of course, Davis and West as crew chiefs. That's an advantage of being a crew chief with the most seniority, I suppose. But it'll be a shame if it doesn't get to happen in the stadium where they want it to happen, with the fans, with everything somewhat back to normal. Anyway, closecallsports.com. We'll see you on there. At Umpire Ejections on Twitter and Facebook. We'll see you on there as well. And yeah, 7-minute video on a 2-minute read of an article. How about that?